All right. Now we're in a little bit of a turn. It hooks quite well. Keep in mind, I own an Audi R8 V10 Plus. I also have a C8 Corvette, and I've owned a laundry list of other cars. And when I tell you this car handles really, really good and it's really fun to drive, trust me. What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we're spending some time with the 2025 Mazda Miata. This in particular is the Miata Club, and it is a 6-speed manual. We're going to get into all the details here shortly. Over 25,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. I really genuinely do appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, here's the layout in case you want to skip through this full review. We're going to start with the exterior right after the cinematic. Technically, we're going to start with the cinematic first. It's 60 seconds or less. Then we're going to go exterior, stats, figures, stuff I feel like you guys want to know. Then we're going to jump to the interior, and then we'll be taking it on a drive. So without further ado, let's jump into this full review. Let's roll. This Miata Club is a 2-liter 4-cylinder pushing 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. Transmission is a 6-speed manual, and of course optional auto if you go to the Grand Touring. Drivetrain is rear-wheel drive. Curb weight's coming in at 2,366 pounds, and it's going to be pushing from 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds. MPG 26 city, 34 highway with a combined average of 29 MPGs. Gas tank size of 11.9 gallons. And touching on vehicle dimensions, overall length, you were looking at 12.8 feet, so it's very short. Width is around 5 feet, 7 inches, and height you're looking at just a hair over 4 feet. Pricing starts at $29,830. That is, of course, base MSRP. Tester today is roughly $34,610, including the destination charge. Now, on the Club, you may be asking, what is basically specific about the Club? There is one package on this in particular that is just a little over $4,000, if I remember correctly. Going off memory here, so don't shoot me if I'm just a little bit off. But nonetheless, it would be the optional Brembo brakes, and then you also get more aggressive seating on the inside. I can't remember if they're Recaros in particular, but they are definitely a race-style seat, and they are very, very nice. My tester does not have that option today, but you can get that on this trim, which is the Club. Now, of course, the Club is also a little bit more focused for like the track per se, and it does have Bilstein tuned suspension all the way around, and I will say this car handles really, really well. Now, keep in mind, I own an Audi R8 V10 Plus. I also have a C8 Corvette, and I've owned a laundry list of other cars. And when I tell you this car handles really, really good and it's really fun to drive, trust me, I am saying that genuinely. I have some experience for sure with some other cars. This thing is a blast. Now, of course, up front, you have all LED lighting, and it is pretty aggressive looking. If you take a look at it, it looks mean, which is pretty cool. And it does have quite small tires, and of course, it's a small car. So if we come down here and take a look, you can see 205, 45, 17. So again, they are pretty small. Now, if we come back here in the back, it is all the way down underneath here somewhere right there. Press that button and we pop it up. And let's just take a look here in the trunk. You have a decent amount of space. I mean, it's not fitting a golf bag or anything, but it's fairly deep, to be honest. Like, it's clear past my elbow. And of course, I will put the cubic feet here on the screen. All right, let's go ahead and hop on into the inside. Of course, I do that on every car. Man, there are flies everywhere. They keep driving me nuts, distracting me. Anyway, all right, jumping in, pretty easy to get into. It's, you know, not crazy low to the ground. I mean, it is, but it's not. Roof line, definitely have to duck, as you could probably tell. And where I sit, I do sit pretty close just because I like to control the clutch a little bit better. And you can see the clutch kind of where my leg sits. And just taking a look, it is the other thing with the club is a short throw shifter, so we can put it in first. And I'll just kind of hold it here for a second and go through the gears. So second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And then reverse is down, over, and up. And then just taking a look at the backup camera, again, nothing fancy, but the quality is definitely good enough for what you need in this vehicle. Just taking a look out in front of us here, you can see we've got 3 different gauge clusters. The far left one is a digital display. And then over here in this little like triangle, as you can see, that will display the gear. And then over on the right, of course, you have your speedometer. Then the tach is big, obviously, in the middle. And you've already seen the screen. And of course, I believe this has built-in Alexa as well. Not something I particularly use, but of course you can if you would like. And then you do have temperature control settings. There is no auto zone in the club in particular. You have 2 USB-Cs down there, but you do still have heated seats, as you can see. And then we've already touched on the shifter. You have a nice handheld brake, which is also nice. Not too many cars are going to have this anymore. That's pretty rare. A lot of times just an electronic parking brake with just a little switch, and it does not, which is great. And of course, to control the screen, similar to any other Mazda, you got to use the little dial wheel here, and you can go through it and whatnot. Now, again, I have not tested this, and I just say this because for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, for many other Mazdas, if you do that, then it turns into a touchscreen, which to me, if the brake is set, I think then just like if it was an auto, if it's in park, it should be a touchscreen. And I don't know for sure if this one is the same, but I know for a lot of Mazdas, that's the case. If you go to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, then it's a touchscreen. So again, haven't tested that. I don't ever use that in particular. That's just a me thing, not the manufacturer thing. Now, of course, pop this open, got just a little bit of space located in there. And you do have 2 cup holders, and you can kind of move them around as well. There's a little slot right there. I believe that it can go in. Which is nice. Now, I could be wrong on that. I did put it in there and it seemed pretty snug and it fit. I haven't seen anything official on that, but it definitely does work if you need to. And of course, there is a convertible top that will drop down if you would like to. And your glove box, if I move my water bottle here out of the way, is actually located right back here in the center. And you actually do have a decent amount of space in there, which is good. All right, enough yabbing. I think it's time to get this thing out on the road because at the end of the day, that's definitely where this car shines. Unfortunately, don't have access to a track. For normal press cars, this is a press car. I get a new press car every single week. If you want to do the track, you basically have to go out and request it ahead of time. So I'm not going to be able to take this on a track. However, we can still have some fun with it, and I can definitely talk you through just how good this thing drives from a handling perspective. All right, let's roll. All right, the Miata with the windshield might be shaking this just a little bit. So I apologize. We might have to use the camera over here the whole time. I try to use 2 angles, but nonetheless, it just kind of is. The car is so small that you can just feel it. It's a driver's car, and that's what we'll get to here in just a second. So bear with me. If we only have 1 camera, it is what it is. If not, you'll know that the DJI Action 5 Pro, it can 100% handle a little bit of shake and bake because it is quite shaky. All right, let's start this video off with the clutch. I don't have to touch the gas pedal. I can literally let off, hold it, not touching, fully engaged, let the clutch out and roll. You don't even have to touch the gas pedal at all if you do not want to, if you are newer to driving a manual transmission. Now, the release point is near the top of it, middle to top, somewhere in that range, which again, if you know how to drive stick, very easy to figure out very quickly. If you're not and you're new, this is a fantastic learner's car. Now, here's what I'll say. Even if you are not new to driving stick, I can assure you this car great to learn on a track. It is very, very, very good for learning handling. Again, this coming from a guy that has owned a lot of cars. A lot of those cars, I will never, ever reach the full potential of those cars. However, this car, you can wind it all the way out. You can touch almost every gear and really, truly learn and it's small enough to really learn how cars handle, and that's what makes this car, in my opinion, special. Now, everyone loves to look at 0 to 60s, and they're like, the 0 to 60 is only 5.5 to 6 seconds, roughly in that range. And you got to understand, that's more than enough for what this car is. You don't need it much faster. If you wanted it faster, I'm sure you could slap a turbo on it and push another 50 to 70 horsepower on it. And then some people are going to go, wow, that is not a lot of horsepower. This car's like 2,300 pounds. That is a lot of horsepower. Factory, it's sitting at 181. So you put this thing at like 250, this thing is screaming for the size. And part of the size is it just feels faster because this car is so raw. It is truly a driver's car. Again, even to the camera, it's shaking just a little bit. I can feel the shifter just shaking in my hand just a little bit. And that's what this car is all about. All right, let's go ahead and get out here in just a second. All right, here we go. A little bit of a slide. The gears feel nice. They're nice and crisp. Oh boy, we done lost y'all. The thing slid down. Hopefully you can still see. My bad. Just goes to show this has enough pep in its step because I actually had that camera mount fairly tight, not perfectly tight, but I definitely didn't expect it to move. So that kind of is what it is. We're coming up to the cattle guard. We do it every week just to see how suspension and noise. Here we go. Obviously quite rough. It's got a sporty suspension, small car, makes sense. Wouldn't expect anything less. Noise, it's you can hear it for sure. There's no question there. Again, this is being a convertible. You can hear the wind noise. It is present. Now, if you're not new to my reviews, you already know this. If you're new to my reviews, I have 3 different categories. I have powertrain, I have tire noise, and then I also have wind noise. Wind noise, very present. Now, I don't know if it'll turn out for you guys because I do have this wireless mic, and it really does a very good job at cutting out background noise. If it does not, I apologize, and the audio may not be as crystal clear as it normally is. However, again, that's wind noise. It's fairly noisy. The tires, you can hear those as well. It's there, and it's mainly because of the convertible top. And then also powertrain noise. Now, powertrain is fairly quiet in this vehicle, other than whenever you're actually ripping it, right? So like when you're getting on it, then of course, it's you can hear it. But otherwise, like just cruising along, I don't really hear that. I just hear tire noise and I hear wind noise. So again, it's a very raw car. It is a driver's car for sure. Now, as far as like safety features, if you will, it does have lane keep assist, not lane centering. So if you don't know the difference, lane centering keeps centering your lane, and lane keep assist is basically, it'll pop up in a little indication, it'll highlight orange, and the wheel will shake, and it'll just like, I mean, in this car, I don't even know if it fully does put you back in your lane. Let's just see here. I think it just shakes the wheel, to be honest. Hold on. Yeah, it really just shakes the wheel. It doesn't even really, it's not, I don't even know if it's a assist. I think it may just be an alert in the Miata. So no big deal there. I don't expect that. Now, of course, you do have heated seats in this, which is not a safety feature, but it is a feature, which is nice. And to be honest, didn't quite expect that in this vehicle. Now, let's go ahead and do a little downshift here. And let's go ahead and take this turn at 25. And that's where this thing just, it feels like an absolute go-kart. It is so fun to actually get to drive. Now, daily driving it, that's up to you. I don't know, like if you would love it, it's honestly, you have to drive it. If you are wanting a car to where you feel the emotion and you feel everything, that's what the Miata is. Like if you are an enthusiast, you will appreciate this car. And I really am an enthusiast, right? Like I've owned 6-figure cars, I've owned Corvettes, I've owned cheaper cars. I've had a Mazda 6 S Grand Touring, and I absolutely love that car, by the way. It had the V6 in it. That thing, especially back in the day, it was 2009. That thing was quick, and I loved it. And that's what this is. This is an enthusiast car. We're getting ready to come up to an area where we can have a little bit of fun and test some of the handling, and we'll test the brakes as well. And again, my tester does not have the upgraded Brembo brakes, so not going to be quite as powerful, right? Like definitely if I was planning to track this car, I would pay for that upgrade for sure. Like if you've not tracked a car, if you are truly pushing a car, brakes are really, really important. And I know to some it's going to be like, no, the brakes are fine. They get really, really hot. And you got to be able to dissipate heat so you don't get brake fade. So that would be very, very important upgrade. So here we go. Hold on, let's try like a 0 to 60 really quick. All right, hold on. And I'm driving stick, don't kill me. I'm not gonna drop this clutch, so it's not gonna be what the factory says. So, ready, set, go. All right. 40. 60. All right, and now we're in a little bit of a turn. You can feel the tires are a little narrow, obviously. Brakes, 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 brakes. Downshift, and then coming out of it. And it hooks quite well. And it makes sense because it's not overpowered, right? Like there's not a ton of power. So the wheels, it really lays it to the ground, which is nice. And again, it's just a driver's car. Like I would absolutely, like if I had the money, I would 100% track a vehicle. Tracking is not cheap. By the time you are constantly doing brakes, tires, plus your membership and or if you just do a weekend track fee, it is quite expensive to track a vehicle, but it is really, really fun. So if you have the opportunity, definitely go do it. And if you're looking for a track vehicle that's not that expensive, this is a great option, no question. Hopefully the cameras are not too bad. If they are both shaky, I do really apologize. There's nowhere else I can mount them. And it really is what it is. But this is an enthusiast car. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. And as always, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.